Alright. Let's get right into this game. I'm very excited about this one because A, I learned something today, and look at that. Good luck, have fun, you too. I learned how to be a slightly better caster. Not by much, but by a little bit. I learned how to do my audio better, and also I learned how to get rid of some software problems that I was having previously. So I'm really happy with that. Had a tech buddy help me out, and yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm not always the best caster, but I do work on improving myself in that regard, and it's just something that I really enjoy doing. And I just want to thank you all for the support. Not to be too cheesy. All right. Enough of all of that garbage. Let's look at this game. We have James Bond, the actual James Bond, playing as the Burgundians, facing off against Teutonic Fortress. So we know what that means. We're in for a long one. So I am going to speed this up just a little bit, just so that we can get to the juicy parts that this video is sure to entail. Now, I'm always surprised when I look at the Teutonic Fortress strategy. He oftentimes builds a tower on his stone, and he does this funny little boar lore with his scouts, and he tries to defend with the minimal amount of resources spend, which I really enjoy about his strategy. And then once he gets up to castle, once he's defended both his stone and his wood with a singular tower, then we will see the full glory of the Teutonic Fortress in action. And I always ask myself, like, how is he going to make the next upload interesting? How is he going to make it different than the last one? And every single time, guys, every single time, and look at this. You can't pass. I don't think this villager is never gonna be dropping off this food. Blocked you. Oh, he finally got there in the end. But he always manages to surprise me in one way or another, so I'm really looking forward. And he is looking to build that wood line over here. Wow, that's very far forward. You'd think that over here would be better, but I think that's kind of where he wants to build his Teutonic Fortress, or maybe he'll build his Teutonic Fortress over here. And he does push in deer frequently. Okay, I was wondering if he did that. That's just free food sitting there. Especially, Teutonic Fortress focuses mostly on controlling his side of the map, not so much controlling his opponent's base. There's games like the island game that we saw, in which he never actually even left his own island. If you haven't seen that one, that's probably one of my favorites, and always reminds me to never give up, to always try your best. And the game is never over until the GG is called. Just remember that. That's a quote from Poop Lord. The game is never over until the GG is called. I've mentioned this in the past. I'm not a big fan of playing with my opponents. If I'm clearly winning, I'm just going to end the game. You know, I'm going to try and push for the victory, be it forward castle, or be it, you know, steamrolling my knights in, or whatever it is. I don't think it's fun to see my opponent in agony. Just end it already. And meanwhile, there's walls going up on the front. Red does not know. James Bond has no idea what he's about to get into, and no aggression from him whatsoever. So we are going to speed this up just a little bit. I wonder what he's expecting at this point. If he's expecting some sort of feudal aggression, or if he's going to go for some kind of feudal aggression. He is going to feudal a little bit faster than Teutonic Fortress, which is totally understandable, but Teutonic Fortress will probably be the one, because he's not going to be... What is this wall? Okay, he wanted that gold to be somewhat inside of his base. Okay, you know, you do you. We're probably going to see Teutonic Fortress going to castle first, and the reason that we're going to see Teutonic Fortress going to castle first is because... And we're going to slow it down just a little bit, because I can't keep up with the speed of the game otherwise. We're probably going to see Teutonic go to castle first, and the reason for that is he's not going to invest into military, but it doesn't really look like Red is investing too much into military either. Maybe Red wants to go fast castle as well. Market being built, yeah, it does look like a fast castle attempt here. And what's this resources looking like over here? James Bond has, ooh, not bad. Definitely a bit food short. If you are going to just go fast castle, I do recommend just going up at a higher vil count. That way you can make a smooth transition. Fast castle is a very powerful strategy, especially at lower elos. And I do like the amount of lumberjacks that he has on his lumber camp. And let's see over here, tower going up, and we should see a tower on the stone. Interesting that he went for this stone. Alright, so far we're just booming up to castle. It looks like no players are investing into any feudal aggression. A wheelbarrow again got. You want to get wheelbarrow, for my personal perspective, around 30 or 40 villagers. I think is a very good time for wheelbarrow, as we're slowly dropping some frames there. That's really unfortunate. And red is first to castle. He did not invest into any military, and he didn't invest into any towers. Although now it looks like he is getting a whole bunch of stones. So I think there might be a castle drop in the near future, which could be quite scary if you're Teutonic Fortress. Now, if you want to drop a castle, you should have 6 on stone heading into castle. If he already had these stone miners in feudal, then he should be totally okay. Your timing of your castle is very, very important, because if you're too slow, then your forward castle is not going to have the effect that you want. Also, another small thing that you can do is instead of tasking this villager to this stone over here, you could task her to this stone. It's all the little things that really start adding up in getting the most out of your economy. And yeah, he's a little bit early with his stone, and he doesn't have his villagers forward. So that's why I say 6 on stone, and then have, for example, your gold miners that you don't need for that particular moment go forward, build the castle. And TC, okay, he just wants to TC boom. He wants to boom, boom, boom it out. No aggression from either player, and it does look like Teutonic Fortress has made it to Castle Age, so we are going to see that glorious, glorious fortress being constructed. This is 1, 2, 3, and a castle, and probably going to see another over here. And this is pretty decent mining. I mean, definitely could be a little bit closer, but who cares? Who cares? Who cares? This is the formation. You don't question greatness, okay? Just like this TC. This TC should be right up against that wood line. I know that you're probably thinking, oh, but I want to build farms all around it. But you have plenty of farm space. Also, when that wood gets chopped, you're going to be able to place farms there as well. And I do want to see, okay, 700 stone in the bank. I am expecting a castle now at this point. Monks. Monks. Okay, full stone wall. Does not want to get raided at all. It looks like this player, James Bond, is a boomy boy as well. And here come the knights. 3 knights have been constructed. Are they going to be able to find any damage? And I quickly want to switch to Teutonic Fortress's perspective. I also remember that I can do this. So we have a total of 37 and 47 for Teutonic Fortress. Teutonic Fortress going for a much more boomy approach. 4 TCs, and look at this. Just every time I see this, it always gets me. Look how they all overlap. They all range each other, and especially if he gets those range upgrades, they're going to range each other even better. And Crenellation Castles from Teutonic Knight, or Teutons, are no joke. That's going to be able to range most of his farm space here. Oh, forward castle, relatively forward, I would say. From red, maybe wants to treb down this over here. We are going to speed it up just a little bit. And look at the Ant City work. Oh, I love this so much. The Ant City is at work. 41 to 61, 20 villagers up, another TC, super boom. And notice that Teutonic Fortress is not getting any of his upgrades. He's probably going to go for 2 blacksmiths and 2 universities in Imperial Age. That's how he likes to play the game. And look at this. This is something new that he's been doing. He's been making petards in his castle in case somebody wants to castle drop him. But this castle is quite far away and should be able to put a pretty good amount of pressure on Teutonic Fortress. Just want to see how this game progresses a little bit more. So far, nothing hugely mentionable. Ooh, more TCs coming out. That's a total of 2, 4, 6, 7 TCs. 7 TCs. And meanwhile, we do see those Conciliaires, which are absolutely devastating with their charge attack. They can run in, snipe a villager one shot, and then run out. Wheelbarrows being got, more eco upgrades. Ooh, men at arms. Maybe he wants to go champions at some point. Does make sense if you're getting the attack upgrades for your knights. That also applies to your militia line. And I see a pretty serious push coming here. I don't think Teutonic Fortress has dealt with something like this in the past games that we have seen from him. Another building being constructed here. Oh, are we going AI army? I'm not a fan of that. I think you go for 1 unit composition and you push that unit composition home. Now the knights come in, but there's nobody on wood here to be found. And Teutonic Fortress, I love it. He always gets housed. Is getting those relics, is bringing those home, but Teutonic Fortress will be trying to hunt those down at some point. Oh wow, that was actually good play, and yeah, that one relic might be the only relic that he can get for the time being. Other relics are... Nope, that's a wolf. Nope, that's that. And that's a wolf too. How many relics does Red already have? How many relics do you have? There's one here, and there's... Ooh, he has 4 relics, so probably only 1 relic for Teutonic Fortress. And since he likes to go super late, that could actually work to his disadvantage. So he's going to have to end this game at some point. Meanwhile, these knights definitely doing some damage, but I don't think he's too concerned about that, as his fortress is mainly still intact. Another TC! Wow. Every single one of his resources is hugely protected. And look at this. Red going for a very, very large wall. Does not want to get raided at home as well. Both players not wanting to get raided. Meanwhile, these knights are doing some damage, but not a huge amount. And it looks like Imperial Age is going to be coming in for both players quite soon. 50% of the way for both of them. 1 relic only. That is not a situation that Teutonic Fortress is used to. Normally seeing with 2, sometimes even 3, or... I mean, if he's really lucky, he smashes down his opponents and gets all 5, but don't think we'll see that this game, just because those relics are so safeguarded back at Red's base. Oh man, he might get housed again. No, I'm just kidding. He's at 155 population. But overall, no actual kills from either player, unless I missed a scout kill. And no military either. And more petards being created. Wow, 2, 4, 5 petards and a knight. And he's putting all his petards over here that makes it easier for him to micro. I think that's the logic behind it, at least. I'm not quite sure, but I'll have to ask him about that. And now technologies are getting gotten. And we do have that triple blacksmith. Wow. Does not want to be behind at all. And it looks like we're going to see... Paladins from Teutons. He has been liking that a lot. 2 universities being constructed. Does have the garrison over here. We do see 2 kills very, very quickly. Those Connichiers with their charge attack, they run in, they kill, and they run back out. Meanwhile, the villager difference is huge. We almost have a 50 vil difference. Here's the thing, guys. If you have military advantage, you want to push that. Because if you're not pushing that, your opponent has either a chance to get back into the game or just out-boom you. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. If Teutonic Fortress can spend all of his resources, and he does have a lot of resources in the bank, he definitely should be spending more of those. Oh, archery ranges as well. I think he's just prepping for the worst case scenario here. Kind of seeing what his opponent is going for, but he's pretty soon going to be realizing that there are tons of Connichiers here, and he's probably also seen most of these Cavalier. Are we going to go for Paladin in Red's position? I would assume so. Even going to heal these up. Very, very passive play from both players, so we are going to speed this up. What is Teutonic Fortress going to go for? It does look like he's going to go for those knights, and more castles being constructed, more upgrades being got. We got Bloodlines and Elite Teutonic Knight coming in as well. And once again, knights, cav and militia line, they line up very nicely because, or I should say infantry line up very nicely because they both benefit from the attack upgrade. It looks like Two-Handed Swordsman is coming in for Red. Are we going to see the ploppy spam? Are we going to see the ploppy spam? More eco upgrades. And once again, no real action yet. Come on, we want to see this pop off already. This could be one big engage and done, guys. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this game is even going to make it to YouTube. I think this is just boring, lame, nothing's going to happen. Oh wait, here comes the push. Here comes the push. And it doesn't look like Teutonic Fortress is quite ready for this, although he is producing Teutonic Knights from 3 castles at this time, 4 castle being over here. And look how calm he is about this. I really do appreciate this about this. This about him is how calm he is. But now he has to watch out because those Trebs could do serious damage to his castles. And those Connichiers, if they run in, take a big engage against those Teutonic Knights, and then run out, That could be massive. Plus 32 on their first attack. Absolutely ridiculous unit. I don't know. Do you guys think that Burgundians are a little bit too OP at the moment, or do you think it's fine the way they are? They don't get that charge attack, by the way, if they're attacking buildings. I talked to somebody about that on the Reddits. And here do come those Cavalier, but it looks like those Cavalier are just simply going to get tossed into all of this arrow fire, and that's not good. But now, both castles are being trebbed down. 2 trebs on one castle, 1 treb on the other. I like how he waited for the trebs. Ooh, he's going to get big charge attacks over here. And it looks like those charge attacks have now been used. You definitely want to retreat these boys. Trying to just get all those trebs down. Those trebs are going to go down. And who's going to come out on top? I think Teutonic Knight will be quite pleased with that, especially since he took down that castle. And Cav are normally the counter to Teutonic Knights. Or actually range, I think, is slightly better. But these guys are doing absolutely nothing. 1 damage on each volley, so that's not helping very much. And it does look like all of these Conachers are going to get cleaned up. Paladin now on the way. And still a decent number of Teutonic Knights. But if this goes super late game, then I think Teutonic Fortress does have the advantage. No, sorry. James Bond has the advantage because he has those additional relics. Also, Teutonic Fortress is going to have a very hard time pushing red because of all of these walls that he has up over here. He's not going to be able to break through very easily. So I do expect this game to go late. We are going to speed it up just a little bit because I know exactly what Teutonic Fortress is going to do. He's going to bring these guys back and he's going to heal them up in his fortress. He does not like losing gold units. Every single one. And look at this base. Wow. Crazy. Every single one of his units has meaning to him. He doesn't even want to lose a single KP boy. And man, are there a lot of KP boys. And ooh, another attack over here. And that's going to be a whole bunch of villagers down. But now you have to retreat if you are James Bond. Run in, run out. Sneak attack all the way. Ooh, but it doesn't look like he's going to go for that. He's going to go for trebbing down that castle. And I don't think that's a good decision because these Teutonic Knights are beastly. They might be slow, but every single one of them has 21 attack, 13 melee defense, and 6 pierce armor. So that's quite difficult to deal with. Ooh, another castle going up, protecting those trebs. I think you do have to go for an engage here, although those monks could get a conversion. And Onager now in as well, and these Teutonic Knights are not going to have a good time dodging those shots, although I will say that was overall not bad. He's just going to charge them in, and here comes the engage. More Teutonic Knights on the way. Is Teutonic Fortress going to be able to clean this one up? Looks like this is pretty okay. Wants to keep those trebs up, but one treb does go down. Another treb soon to follow. And these Teutonic Knights are beastly, man. Even this castle is not doing a huge amount of damage. He can simply fight underneath it, but this castle is in range of this castle, so that's going to start to add up. And I don't think you want to take this engagement anymore if you're Teutonic Fortress. Or maybe you do. Maybe you just want to take down this castle, but I think that's going to be way costly on your Teutonic Knight numbers. Only 21 boys remaining. 20, 19, 18, 17 it looks like. Yeah, I don't know if that was the best engage, but at the same time, Red has almost nothing remaining. Now going for champions, and we should be seeing some Cavalier being constructed in response. No, more Teutonic Knights. Just more Teutonic Knights. Flood the boys. Oh man, they're ready. Petards! Petards! 3 castles right next to each other. Now are we going to see a big engage? I mean, we saw a couple of small engages, but nothing too serious. And here they are. Paladin just chilling in the back, ready to be sent in. Honestly, if you are fighting on the front and you're not really making any progress, you could send these around. Now, in this particular situation, that wouldn't do a whole lot because James Bond is fully walled. Trying to get some gold miners here, and he'll definitely get those. Yeah, 1 hit KO those boys with those additional attack bonusi. So look, 11 plus 4, but if I click one of these in the back, 11 plus 34. That's the power of that charge bonus that I talked about earlier. And 200 pop. 200 pop for Teutonic Fortress. 104 villagers. And that is plenty. Although these villagers are going to get absolutely massacred, it looks like, and these Teutonic Knights cannot support them. And yeah, just slowly taking down this mining camp. Alright, Teutonic Fortress, what are you going to do in this game? How is this going to be different than your other games? I mean, definitely a very mobile force. But, ooh, now he realizes, oh, there's the healing square formation. I like this, the Teutonic square formation. This always makes me smile, to be honest with you. Maybe it's just nostalgia, but it reminds me of when I was casting, and I was casting at 360 pp, which is, sounds like, oh, it was so long ago. No, that was actually just like a month ago at this point. I really learned a lot about casting, which I'm very appreciative of, that opportunity. I'm kind of, I've mentioned this before, you probably have never watched those videos, but I am an absolute toaster when it comes down to technology, and it took me a lot of time just to figure out how to, for example, get my audio correct, get a proper microphone, and you know, as I hate to tell you this, and I'm pretty ashamed of this, but to be honest with you, I actually was using my desktop mic, even though I had a fully functioning microphone at home. My tech buddy made me aware of this, and I'm pretty embarrassed about it, needless to say. What are we going for? Champion and Halb. Okay, now mixing in Halb. That's a good idea. I absolutely made this mistake where I went full champion against Teutonic Fortress, trying to counter those Teutonic Knights, and absolutely ate dirt because he had tons and tons of paladins that I wasn't aware of, and he absolutely shreked me. Or I think maybe they were just Cavalier, but he absolutely shreked me. Never underestimate your opponent in any way. They are much more capable and much more formidable than you may think. And these charge attacks, they are going to do work on these paladins, that's for sure. But choosing not to fully engage does have some helps back here as well. And the healing square formation is healing up these paladins as well. That's actually a pretty good idea. If you can tank a couple of those shots and then heal them back up, you're never going to go down. And Scorpion in here, but not heavy Scorpion. Would like to see some upgrades on that if you are going to go that route. Seems like a lot of different routes have been chosen from James Bond, and see what he will stick with in the long run. Big engage now. This formation doing so much work over here. So hard to kill. Getting a lot of heals. I think he's getting some conversions as well. Are there any conversions over here? I don't see any. Maybe just content with fighting this, and I think that's not a bad idea. Having them heal is quite powerful as well. Definitely helps you in fights. Now, I don't think you should go for healing every single time. It also totally depends on your strategy. For Teutonic Fortress, this is great because these units will stay alive, they will go back to his base, and he will heal them up again. How are you getting your gold? Oh, I have one relic. Oh man, zero on gold right now. He is definitely getting his gold from one relic at this point. He's completely mined out of gold. How is he going to maintain, if these knights go down, his production? He definitely needs more houses as well. He's always housed. He's like MBL in that regard. And he's just going to charge these Teutonic Knights forward. They're only barely faster than those Scorpions. And now he's going to treb that castle down. Teutonic Knight has no problem with a slow push. And he definitely has the military numbers now. 87 to 26 military. So you should be able to just speed roll, as I have to cough, steamroll this, but that's not Teutonic Fortress's style. He goes slow and steady, wins the race, and this is very opposite of how I play the game, but I can appreciate the way he plays the game. I really have learned to enjoy this, and that treb is going to get taken down. Are these Teutonic Knights going to get sent forward to take out that castle at this point? Trickling in your army like this, if you're James Bond, is definitely not a good idea. You want to group them up somewhere back here, somewhere where they're safe, and then push all together. Meanwhile, Teutonic Fortress is completely content keeping this alive and slowly but surely building up his numbers back to 200 again. Now the thing is, Teutonic Fortress is very, very patient. He attacks when he feels like his opponent has some sort of build up. And ooh, a little bit of raiding going on back here. Does want to garrison, but cannot garrison in this TC because it is too damaged. Got to repair that one. But this is not going to do too much work. That's why the healing Teutonic Fortress formation is so deadly, because it's very hard to raid him at home. Everything is covered. He doesn't need walls. He just covers everything with arrow fire. I think this is going to be a slow push at this point. Let's take a look at Red's perspective. Red also doesn't have any on gold anymore. So what do you do in Red's situation? I guess there's still gold over here that you could take. Does he know about additional gold piles? He does know about this stone pile. And now it's looking more and more in Teutonic Fortress' favor. This is exactly his game plan. His game plan is get to a point where I have gold units and my opponent does not. Keep my units alive, and nothing, and I mean nothing, wrecks Teutonic Knights if you don't have gold. What are you going to do? Build halberdiers? They do 1 damage each against Teutonic Knights. Oh, he's making the little... Oh, cheeky boy. Cheeky boy. He's going to put these trebs right inside this little stone wall he has over here. And he is going to make sure that his opponent is not able to snipe down his trebs. Maybe with range units, but he has those paladins exactly for that reason. Like I said, slow and steady wins the race in Teutonic Fortress's mind, which I don't disagree with. I think in some situations, slow and steady is definitely the way to go. Yeah, what does Red have at this point? I mean, I honestly think that Teutonic Fortress can slow roll him at this time. 1 castle down, another castle is being constructed, but he's not going to be able to get that up. Ooh, and he is even building another little extension here so that he can reach this over here. Probably going to make another gate over here just so that they can go in a different direction. But that Cav does get in there, that scout, and does manage to do some disruption over there. And that's going to be annoying, but that's probably going to get cleared up at this time. Maybe, maybe not. The Teutonic Knights are going to do some absolute work. And you definitely don't want to be in a Treb war with Teutonic Fortress, that's for sure. We are going to speed it just up a little bit because I know how long these games can be, and I do want to do... Oh, he just deletes the walls. Okay, I thought he was going to build another gate. Does repair those. He's going to trap down this next castle, and one by one they will fall. And Red, at this point, he could build additional castles, but he doesn't have gold. He simply doesn't have gold to deal with this army. If you're Red, you need to be investing into scouts and harassing wherever you can. But the problem is, it's so hard to harass Teutonic Fortress, especially since he's done a very good job at keeping most of his castles up. Yeah, you can take out his houses and they will eventually go down, but his eco, he doesn't even need his eco anymore. That's the funny part. He booms to a point where he actually does not need his eco anymore because his composition that he has on the field is simply not going to die. Packs up the trebs, and I wonder if he's going to go forward just ever so slightly, wanting to heal up his force, and here come the trebs. Slow and steady push. This stone is going to be mined pretty soon. Teutonic Fortress also wants to go over here, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. The thing about Teutons is Teutons are very, very, very slow. But Teutonic Fortress uses that to his advantage. He doesn't want to push until it's time to push. And he has a very good game sense in that regard. When should I push? When does my opponent have military built up? When should I engage? Otherwise he's going to overwhelm me with numbers. I think the only way that you take down a force like this is to go for 200 units, rush them all in at the same time, wait, get another 200 units, rush them all at the same time, because otherwise they're just going to get healed over and over and over again. I think a push should actually be coming at this time because he hasn't seen Red's army in quite some time. I mean, he has some forward harass to deal with, but that's all going to get taken out slowly and steadily. Yeah, he realizes that that's not a huge threat. And now big engage over here. But look at this. Look at these Teutonic Knights. Like, how much damage are they taking? Just look at the ridiculousness of this. You need... Oh, and the Paladin just run around and absolutely wreck all of those very, very expensive Scorpions. They're not really super expensive. They're relatively cheap unit from the Siege Workshop. But that being said, they are expensive if you don't have gold. And actually, Teutonic Fortress out of gold as well, so he's just adding scouts. He has those stable... Oh my gosh, the scouts! Oh, I hate this so much. It's so painful for me to watch Teutons with scout cavalry. And the worst part is it works too, because he just has additional food. He doesn't care about them. Just toss them in willy-nilly, spam them out as much as you want. And at this point, 4 relics to 1, so he can't produce any additional gold units. But I don't think he's going to be too bothered. I feel like he feels pretty good about his composition, even pulling back those scouts. And he's going to be 200 pop. Very comfortable game for him. Ooh, doesn't need to keep those traps alive. Ooh, sneaky castle in the back. I didn't notice that. That's actually a good play from Red. Try and pressure from a different position. But those traps are there, and those are going to be protected. Should try and repair those, but no, those are totally fine. And yeah, should take down this castle as well. And once again, we're gonna have a slow and steady push. Both of these players very, very boomy, and that's fine. That's both how they like to play the game. Is this the best Teutonic Fortress game I've ever seen? For me personally, no. But is it a good Teutonic Fortress game nonetheless? Is it different than the last ones? I'm gonna say it's different enough. I've never seen Teutonic Fortress face off against a player who also boomed. Now the interesting thing is, Teutonic Fortress overboomed. I think this is why his strategy works against people. Teutonic Fortress overbooms in the beginning. When he gets to castle, he totally overbooms, doesn't really invest into military. And then, in Imperial Age, when he has his ultimate army comp, he oftentimes doesn't really even care about his eco anymore. Yeah, he'll take gold if he can. Yes, he'll take stone if he can, if it's convenient for him. But he's not concerned for looking for this one gold pile that's still over here, whereas Red has just found this, and probably is going to send some villagers over here pretty soon, as I mentioned that. He's not concerned about resources because he already has his ultimate comp, and this is beautiful. Yeah, just charge these scouts in at this point. Who cares about all of these scouts? Just run them in. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Even dealing with these barracks with those Teutonic Knights. Teutonic Fortress cares about a couple of things. Boom in the beginning. Do so as undisturbed as possible. Get to Imp. Get his ultimate army comp. Don't care about eco anymore. Make sure that your 25%, that your area is not invaded. And look at all of these villas. They're just like, yeah, whatever, man. We could all die. It doesn't matter. He's just going to build more light cav with this. He's literally just going to build more light cav with that pop space. And I don't think Red can ever stop this absolute wrecking ball that's coming towards his base. It must be so frustrating playing against this. You haven't been raided at home at all. Teutonic Fortress hasn't killed a single one of your villagers. Not one, as another big engage does occur. Hussar, yeah, I think Hussar is actually not a bad choice. But these Hussar, 11 attack, and the defense on these guys is 13. So each one of this Hussar is only doing 1 damage as well. And these scouts, these godforsaken scouts, stop doing this to people, Teutonic Fortress. It's not nice. And now he's going to break into the eco, and now we might see some harassment, and we probably will see the GG called once those scouts do get into that eco, because there's no way that he can stop that. Meanwhile, is taking down these buildings. I'm surprised that red didn't go for this gold because he could really use these 3 tiles of gold. Yeah, it's only really 2 tiles of gold with the amount of gold that's in them, but still, gold is gold is gold. And you know what the funny part is? Teutonic Fortress is probably going to be looking for this building right here. And then as soon as he gets this, he's just going to run them back and take all 5 of those relics. My point earlier is that this must be so frustrating to be up against because you feel like I haven't been raided at home. Not a single one of my villagers has died. I've killed tons and tons of his villagers. Handfuls. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many vills you kill. And now the Paladin are into Red's base. The bell has to be called. And oh my goodness, this unholy stream of scouts. Just going to try and pick off whatever villagers they can. Meanwhile, attack from the back, but that's why he keeps his trebs nice and protected with that square. And that square is not going down anytime soon. Oh, no way! We have Flemish militia as a last-ditch effort from Red, and that's absolutely demolish all of those scouts. That's hilarious. But what do you do against Teutonic Knights? These militia are actually pretty chunky. 16 attack, and a Teutonic Knight, as we mentioned before, has 13, so they are going to do 3 damage each. That's no joke. That's absolutely no joke. This might be a way for... oh, and he does get that treb as well, but he has realized he knows. He knows. And how are you going to get through this formation? They're all on stand ground. They're just firing, making sure that these monks do not get killed so that he can get healed forever. And man, those Flemish militia are just getting cleaned up. Oh, this is actually nice. You could target fire those monks, and that could actually be quite bad because then the healing is removed. But the Teutonic Knights are going to quickly take that down. He does want to get those relics. Das Wort! I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong. I'm so sorry, Teutonic Fortress. That's like his war cry. Maybe at one point you can tell me how to pronounce things properly. I'm really sorry. I have a little bit of... oh, and those relics do pop out. I have a little bit... by a little bit, I mean, I have quite severe dyslexia, but I've never let it stop me. There's stories about that and blah, 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 but who cares? When you have a game like this on your hand, and those relics all get picked up, and I'm telling you, he's going to run these back right away. Yep. He has all 5 relics. Protect the relics! Don't let them get to the relics! Oh, some of those militia did get by, but they're already hand cannoneers, and they're going to absolutely wipe this up. Meanwhile, I don't think there's very much eco for Red anymore. I'm surprised that he's actually still staying in this game. I think at lower elos, people are way less likely to resign. Not that that's a bad thing. I think you should always try your best and never give up. It's not over until the GG is called. We have seen Teutonic Fortress games that he has actually won way past the point that I think he should have ever won. But I think this game is pretty over. Although, let's see this this nice walk back. He does not care to raid more. He has, he has exactly what he came for, and that is 4 relics. Everything that is stopping him from getting these 4 relics back home is getting absolutely obliterated. Bring the relics home! That was a very successful crusade, if I do say my... Oh, wow. Red let him get the relics back and was like, man, I'm not stopping this anymore. The relics are back home. This is GG if I've ever seen it. Let's take a little bit of a look. 300 kills for Red and 900 losses, about a 3-to-1 ratio, even with all those light cav just being tossed to their doom. I like how I say, like, Teutonic Fortress really cares about every single one of his units, and then he just makes like 50 scouts and just sends them to their doom into the spears of Flemish militia. But they serve a purpose, and I guess their purpose is meat shield. Oh man, look at this. And we have that Flemish militia coming in as a last dish effort. I think that slow and steady push over here really made all the difference. And once again, caring about eco, not caring about eco at all. You can really see that those eco numbers do decline for Teutonic Fortress, but he doesn't care about it because he's already in his ultimate army comp. He knows exactly what he wants to get. He wants to get Teutonic Knights fully upgraded, preferably Cav fully upgraded as well. And with that, I want to say thank you guys, and check this out. I don't even have to do the screen anymore because I figure out some hotkeys that I can use. Woo! Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And remember,